Huh? It's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Lee Hareld, and Araceli Aviles. And now, let's dish. What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we're serving up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. If you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, X, and Threads. Also, if you haven't already, which hopefully you have, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Dishin Days. You can hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you'll never miss when we're going live and in living color. And if you'd like, you can join our exclusive members only page where you can find exclusive first look days content. And you can also join us on our virtual events each and every month. In order to join, head on over to our YouTube channel, click the join button. It's $4.99 a month, and come in and join the FUN. That's fun. Also, make sure you find us on your favorite podcast stations. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Again, just type in Dishin Days and take us along when you're traveling along on those long and windy roads, or maybe you're galloping through a beach, or maybe you are getting to your New Year's resolution where you're pumping some iron and just need to find out what happened in Salem this week. Don't worry, we've got you covered. And if you're on Spotify, you can see our lovely faces over there. Also, make sure you show some love to our wonderful former co-host and my chocolate twin, Mr. James Lott Jr., who's serving up a couple of forks, knives, and spoons of his own. Make sure you search JLJ Media on YouTube to find a recap of Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, and General Hospital, along with some original audio dramas, because James Lott Jr. is the oldest person I know who actually sat in the room when the first soap opera was born. Yeah, he had a hand in it. He did. He's my dear old friend. And that's it. All right. What did we think of this week's episodes of Days?
This week had one of the worst Friday episodes I've seen in a very long time.
Michael, what did you say they should do with this week's episodes by Friday?
I made it to Friday, and on Friday's episode, I felt like I wanted to light my TV set on fire and throw it out the window.
Oh, God. Wow.
Just my opinion, but yeah, rest of the week was all right. That was our cliffhanger. That was our Friday cliffhanger. Really? Okay. Thank you, MeWorld. $1.99.
Oh, thank you, MeWorld. Oh, wait. With that $1.99 comes, hey guys, sorry I'm late. Was Ubering Rachel. Oh, MeWorld.
Yeah. I like this week. I thought a couple storylines that I have not been a fan of in the past sort of turned me around this week, actually. So, yeah, I like this week.
I thought this week was a notch above like an info week, if that makes sense, right? Where like an info week, you're just kind of like, meh. But I felt like this week, like I was like, okay, there's some things that are like happening that are interesting, but it's not so overbearing. You know what I mean? Where it's like, but it's just like, okay, okay. Okay. That's how I felt.
Yeah. And there was a lot of people on this week. I feel like they touched on on everything. Everyone got a little bit of time this week. Jesus.
What was that?
My neighbor sneezing. Exactly.
Michael Mattis.
What?
We heard your neighbor sneeze and we are on the internet.
Yeah, I know. And my windows are closed and we're each in our own. Yeah.
That's loud.
That was loud. It startled me. Yeah.
Girl, you could probably hear him breathe.
I hear him talk all the time too. I guess I shouldn't be.
Don't you put all his business out like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
All right.
Oh, also, shout out to Araceli, who is not with us today. She busy.
Mm-hmm. She got family matters. I think.
You know what? I wish I would have came up with something better, like she's in a drunken stupor.
Well, if she's with her family,
then she probably
is family, right? So.
I'm not too far off then. All right. Well, then let's get things started, everybody. Wait, what? Where is that from?
Isn't that Steel Magnolias?
No, it's not Steel Magnolias.
What is that?
Is it from a movie?
Yeah,
a movie or a show or something. Yeah,
I can't think of the movie it's from. Is it Driving Miss Daisy? No, it's not Driving Miss Daisy.
I'm thinking Southern, something that
maybe
it is something Southern.
Driving Miss Daisy.
Maybe.
I think it is.
Someone think the theme for Arthur.
Okay. Well.
Oh, someone said Driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to start.
Dishin Days.
Dishin Days. Not her saying busting out the Shazam app. That is hilarious. All right. So let's kick things off with our top storylines. We have Sarah becomes gray. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's get into all of that. The Sarah of it all. I'm proud of myself because before the show, I did a poll. So now I can kind of give the results instead of being like, oh, I'm gonna post it now, and then I forgot about it. But now I can be like, I posted it. Okay. So what do we think, y'all?
I like the development of it. I think this makes sense. I think they've been not turning her darker, but they've been how can I put it? They've been relaxing Sarah a bit to Xander in his crimes over the last year. They make her more understanding to his side of things. Not that she's in favor of him doing things, but I think she's made peace with who he is as a person. And I think this is the next step where she feels like this is for the greater good. I don't want to lie to my husband, but it's for the greater good. I think she kind of has a point. I'm not saying I wouldn't say she's right to be doing it, but I think she has a point to what she's doing.
Yeah. And
I like the change in the character. It's like, let her do something a little devious for the greater good. And, I kind of like, I also like that it's like old school soapy, like, Kate's involved and Philip's involved. And then she took it up on herself to sort of recruit Stephanie into it. Like, I like that part of it.
It's just not going to end well.
No.
It's going to come out. And I'm like, oh, God, girl, and how is this like, this a good way to live where you have to pick and choose what you tell your husband because you're afraid he's going to kill someone? Yeah. You know what I mean? I like them together, but I'm like, this isn't sustainable. This isn't but I guess, on the other side, there was Victor and Maggie who managed to stay together despite anytime Victor did something and Maggie found out about it, she, huffed and puffed and left, but eventually came back. So they somehow made their marriage work so Sarah and Xander can make theirs work too. It's just gonna be messy when it all comes out. I would have rather that Xander had been told and then just decided because Xander had the conversation with Maggie where he promised her or said that he would try to make amends with Philip. After that, I would have wanted him to find out, but then honor what he said to Maggie and maybe see a little change in Xander for a little while, maybe. And so like he found out the letter was fake, but he put his anger about it aside to honor, to honor his promise to Maggie to work with Philip. Because it's just going to get messy. And it's just like, okay, there's a pattern developing, I feel like, with Sarah and Xander, where Sarah is just so apprehensive about what she can tell him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's messy.
Yeah.
I feel like it goes against everything that Sarah has been saying, as far as like being very truthful, being very honest. Those times where she got super upset with Xander about the things that he did and how he wasn't honest about it. But also on the other hand, I kind of get why she's doing it, because it does prevent World War III. And I think it does keep the family at peace. And I think that's the way that she's thinking. Because even in the conversation between Xander and Maggie, it was kind of like, you just need to get along with him. You know what I mean? Like it's his birthright just as much as it's your birthright. And the shade of Xander being like, oh, just like you and Alex working together, how that went so well. I was like, and Maggie couldn't say anything. She was like,
I know she could,
yeah. Now, normally in the soap world, what would happen is like it would just be that long look of just like, but Maggie was like,
she couldn't say anything.
So it's like, yeah. So I get it. It's just, but it's like you said, it won't end well, and there's too many people involved because there's Stephanie and now Sarah, and for both of them to have known, it's kind of like, oof.
I did enjoy the confrontation with, and of course, Kate had to speak up for Philip, but because she's the ever controlling mother. But I enjoyed Kate getting a moment of like this material versus what she's been getting. It was just kind of a nice little Kate moment.
I also liked Philip's plea. I my stance on it. I think to me the letter is irrelevant. I think he should still have some of Victor's estate, whether Xander is the son or not. But I liked his plea of like, I thought he was being honest and sincere in what he said to Sarah. And this has been my life for the past, 30, almost 40 years. Like, yeah. I thought it was sincere. I thought it drove home, even though she knows the letter is fake. I think that there's a lot of good that can come from it.
Like what?
Well, we're already seeing Philip and Xander they can put away their differences and sort of start to get along. We'll see how long that lasts, of course.
Well, you know what brought them together?
The croissant.
From Sweet Pits.
The croissant.
The croissant.
I think it also, and I think Sarah was right when she said Philip, in an odd way, is a nice balance to Xander. Like he did check him from doing something kind of disastrous, and it's like as messy as Philip can be, Xander has a tendency to go off the handle a lot, and he can revert back to doing something underhanded. And I think Philip, maybe in his newfound state, is really trying to do things ironically above board outside of faking the letter, at least business wise. So I think she's right in that he can be as crazy as Philip can be, and his own issues notwithstanding, he could be a nice balance to Xander and a nice check for him. So,
oh yeah, I forgot to mention that too.
Yeah,
like it is a nice balance of like, because I think when you take away the frustration of it all, of like, ugh, why is he here? I think they can work together, and I think they can balance each other out. And I think it makes sense, you know? And I think both had valid points. It's like when Kate was saying, like, we envisioned this for, you know, before he was even born, that this would be it. But like, yeah, there was a moment where he was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and obviously wasn't mentally prepared. But I do think that while Xander always felt like, you know, he had to really work hard to earn his validation from Victor, I think Victor, in a way, knew that Xander was the most like him and would be the most right for the job. But also, if Philip wasn't cuckoo, then, you know, it would have been him too. So I don't know.
There's potential for them to be, you know, successful co-CEOs and work well together. There needs to be something that brings them together. Like someone needs to come after the company. They need to have a common enemy. And then I think they'll be a formidable duo until Xander inevitably finds out. At least that's the assumption, that when Xander finds out, he's going to want to kill Philip. But maybe once they start working together, he finds out, he may be more upset at Sarah for keeping it from him than he actually is at Philip doing it.
I think also he started, well, I don't know. I think Xander's eyes were opened a little bit more to the fact that, like, Philip wasn't the golden child and Victor didn't adore everything he did. They, you know, they had their own troubles, not as much as strife as Xander and Victor did, of course, with not being claimed. Of course, that's a big factor. But, you know, Philip didn't have a great, you know, he didn't have the best childhood either growing up as Victor's son. So I think Xander's eyes were open to that a little bit more, like, oh, we might have actually more in common than I would have given, than I thought, or would have liked to acknowledge. Yeah.
But this is the question. Now that we have like gone through like all of that, do we think it is best for Sarah to keep this a secret? And Stephanie?
I vote no, because it's only, I mean, I understand her motivation, but at the end of the day, I feel like it's going to harm, I kind of just said this, it's going to harm her relationship with Xander more than it's going to hurt Xander and Philip's relationship. When he finds out that she kept it from him. That's my prediction. He's going to be more mad at Sarah that Sarah kept it from him than that Philip actually did it. He's going to be upset that Philip did it, but I think something's going to happen, like I said, where they start working together and he's going to realize that, okay, Philip should be here. And then when he finds out that the letter was fake, it's kind of, I just kind of predict that he won't care as much as we think he will.
What do you think, Justin?
So no, I don't think Sarah should be keeping it from him. But it creates conflict, and we need conflict. So
yeah.
As far as Stephanie, I think Stephanie for me at this point gets a pass. She's broken up with Philip. She's voiced her disdain for it. I think she has no loyalty to Xander either. Like, you know, Xander's nothing to her. So to me, like, she's excused from this, outside of the fact that Sarah asked her not to say anything. So I think she has no loyalty to Xander, or she's not betraying him in any sense. Sarah, I think this is like a Band-Aid solution. I think in the end, it's probably going to blow up in her face. Probably the most. I agree with you, Michael. I think he's probably going to be more mad at Sarah when this comes out than Philip. But I also get why she did it. I just think it's a temporary fix that is just kind of maybe going to blow up in her face. But I totally get it. And I think her intentions are, like, pure.
Yeah.
What about you?
What
about you?
Oh. Why are you laughing, Michael?
We're doing a show here, Tony.
I know.
We're having a conversation. Huh?
Listening. There's so much happening. Sorry. There's so much happening. I feel like it's hard because I want to say no, like don't, but I just know that there's going to be huge. She should just tell him. She should just tell him,
Mhm.
and she should have a conversation with him. Like, listen, don't you go crazy, okay? If you want to see crazy, I'll show you crazy. You
She
lay
should-
one finger on him, and I got you.
She should tell her mom, and then they should tell Xander together, because they both have a way with him where they can maybe keep him chilled out from finding out.
Yeah,
It's
it's
weird
sticky.
because I think they've done a really good job the past couple of months showing that I feel like Xander's been shown to be less resistant to Sarah now too. The stuff with, he in the last 3 months he was going to kill 2 people and has no problem saying that and admitting that and not feeling regret really. Brady, he kind of feels regret because, but at the time he feels very justified. And I was going to murder Brady and then I was going to murder Philip. And unless the gun was loaded, Philip would be dead right now. And it's like, oh, okay, well, you kind of see why she may have kept a secret from you and not want you to fly off the handle because you have proven now that you kind of can't control yourself.
Yeah.
And now you are now richer with a lot more resources and you still can't control yourself.
So the poll that I told you that I put up, we have, oh my God, I can't, almost 200 people voted. And 80% say that Sarah should tell Xander.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, 80% say that she should tell.
And again, it's just it not if you have to pick and choose what you tell your husband because you're afraid he might go murder somebody. Like, I love Sarah and Xander together, but I'm like, that's not a sustainable marriage.
Yeah.
I thought for sure she was gonna go tell, but she had to stop by and talk to Philip first. But then also I thought about this too. She's also kind of caught in a rock and a hard place because guess who helped her walk? Philip. Did he not?
Wait, huh?
Didn't he have a hand in helping get the serum in some way?
She appreciated the fact that Philip stopped Xander from giving away Titan, but I think she liked that aspect of it, but yeah. That was only his involvement, yeah. But to that point, I do think she did sympathize with him, even when he made his plea, just from the mental illness standpoint. I felt like that connected to Sarah, and she made a reference to about her own mental illness and the time she thought she was Renee, and how I think that sort of spoke to her a bit. I think she sort of saw Philip in a different light after that.
Mm-hmm.
Mess.
Hot mess.
Hot mess.
Did you hear about this secret between Xander and Sarah?
Mess.
Mm-hmm.
With croissant. With croissant.
Mess served with a croissant.
Croissant.
Well, we'll see what happens.
There's
and I mean, all of them. Huh?
Yeah.
So was there anything more that happened with that?
Not really. But I mean, this also ended Philip and Stephanie's relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Which
I kind of felt like at the end she was turning around to it. I felt like it seemed like she was pissed and then broke up with him, and then she was on this Philip, how dare you? But I felt like towards the end it made it seem like she recognized that Philip was I think through her conversation with Sarah, she recognized that Philip didn't want her to get hurt. And I feel like that was a little bit of, not saying she's going to automatically forgive him, but I felt like at the end of that conversation, she was softening a bit to Philip.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little surprising to me.
Oh, also, actually, you know what else? She was like, listen, I've been in failed relationship after relationship. Like, I think I'm good for a little bit. And I was like, and I automatically thought of all the folks, all of our fans at Dishin Days being like, Stephanie, girl, calm down.
I know.
Do you for a while. Just be with yourself. And
be with just
you know how else I thought the secret was going to be revealed too was through that voicemail.
Oh, that's right. I know.
But don't leave a voicemail. Right. Like, first of all, you already got caught talking to yourself on the phone. Now you're going to leave a voicemail. And then I thought for some reason she was going to like save it, but she hit delete. And I was like, oh, okay, that's gone. Also, this is no shade to production because, we love Days. However, if you have a voicemail, your phone will never say missed voicemail. It will say missed call, but it will never say missed voicemail. It will simply just say voicemail.
The other thing, I don't know if Androids do it, but it's like the name and then calling when they're getting a phone call. It's like Kate Roberts calling or Stephanie Johnson calling. I don't have that. I would just have Kate Roberts or whoever.
Does it say calling? I'm trying to remember.
Justin, you have your phone?
Yeah.
By you?
Yeah. You call me when Tess is theory.
Let's see. Because I know that it says, like, when you're making a call, it says calling. Whoever you're calling. Like right now, I'm calling Justin, and it says calling Justin Hareld.
Yeah, on my end, it above in small print says incoming call, and then below that it says Tony Moore, and but not together as one sentence or.
It doesn't say Tony Moore calling.
No, it doesn't say Tony. No. Now that we've solved that mystery,
because we loves a good mystery. All right. Okay, now that's it with that storyline.
I'm intrigued though. It got me more interested in this.
I'm curious to see where this is going. I would really like there to be. I just want Xander and Philip to work together and both be like a little bit devious. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like what was said earlier, like what was said on the show and what Justin you said, they complement each other.
Yeah.
Or they balance each other.
Yeah.
So I think I feel like we have the makings for a good like business story or like business battle.
Yeah.
Just depends if the show wants to go with it or not.
Yeah.
Because then there's the Demira side too. So there could be another Demira versus Titan thing.
Yeah.
If it's done right.
Well, let's travel, shall we?
Do we have to?
I love Rochester. Well,
this was the MVP for me, actually. I know.
Bless your heart, Justin.
I was very critical of, it was the MVP for me because of the Leo Marlena interaction. And I'll admit, in the past, I did not like this interaction. I did not think it was believable. I've complained about it. Like, this is a little unrealistic. But this week, I got it. It made sense to me. It never made sense to me before, but this week it made sense to me. I loved their interaction. I loved after when Marlena came over and it was like, oh, I'm here for lunch. I was like, oh, lunch? Okay, interesting. Whatever. They're going to lunch. And then Leo went into his diatribe. She helped him. And then afterward, he's like, oh, how can I repay you or something? And she's like, you could take me to lunch. Like, come on, we're going to go to lunch. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting and fun. And then everything from when they ran into Kerry and Javi, I love that whole sequence. I thought it was cute. I thought it was interesting. I thought it livened Marlena up in a different way than she's been in with her scenes with him. I just thought it was fun.
Let me tell you, there was one point where Marlena was like, I don't want to be a part of this shit. Like she was kind of looking like, look, I was good to have lunch with Leo. Now you done asked Javi and this boy Kerry. Now I'm sitting here having lunch, and now you have the audacity to bring up the devil possession. Like she was just sitting there like,
I'm just trying to eat my Caesar salad, chicken Caesar salad, and go home and go do my exercising before one of my kids shows up at my house with their problems.
It's like
all
you're
of a
doing
sudden,
too much.
All of a sudden, she's in the middle of queer drama 2025.
But I think she was definitely tricked when she saw that I Love Rochester sweatshirt, and then when Javi said Kerry gave it to me, I feel like she was in. She was like, okay, I'm in now. Leo, you're not so crazy anymore. Like I'm on your side now.
But I like that she keeps him level-headed too. Like she kept saying, listen, all you have is circumstantial evidence. And I was like, come on, Dr. Marlena Evans Black. You better let them know you only have circumstantial evidence, bitch. You don't have hardcore. Let me tell you something. Dr. Marlena Evans knows what it means to have evidence. You, my dear, only have circumstantial evidence. But I like that she kept him, because he was about to go off the deep end when he saw the I Love Rochester sweatshirt on Javi, and then realized it was Kerry, and then put two and two together. Now, okay, before we go into the Kerry of it all, I think I asked this already, but whatever. I'm old and I didn't forgot, and it was a couple of shows ago. Which couple do we like? Leo and Javi? Javi and Kerry? I'm torn, to be honest. I can go either way.
I'm torn, but I don't like this week what we saw of Kerry. I feel like if you asked me last week, I would have been a little bit more torn, because I felt like, I want to see more of him, Javi and Kerry together, to see their dynamic a bit. And then this week, it was a little bit too like mustache twirling villain for me. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm still holding a hope, but I feel like Leo and Javi sort of they went up in my estimation a bit this week.
I think Leo and Javi are the couple. Kerry is, showed his true. We found out his true colors this week, and he's kind of dumb. Like to simply hear, like you just blew your own cover. And I'm like, now this doesn't add up to me. How is this person smart enough to take over this Lady Whistleblower persona, get all of the info however he's getting it? If he's was it established, and I'm forgetting, if he had hacked in or had access to the laptop, or how he was getting the information? I remember there being a mention of hacking, but I don't remember who said it.
I think the assumption is that he hacked into it. Otherwise, how would he know or get that info? Because it's still
he's smart. He's smart enough to do all that, but he's not smart enough to maybe take a minute before blasting what he just heard, and thinking, "Oh, someone may find out." And see, that was my issue with it. This whole storyline this week just did not land for me. I would have appreciated okay, Leo and Javi still have it for each other. This other homo is in there mixing shit up. Take the whistleblower body and soul shit out of it, and I would have probably enjoyed it better. But it was just, and all of these no, and then they have to bring up devil possession, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, no. That's why I was just like, I made it to Friday, but throw the TV out the window. I'm just, and then that was our cliffhanger. The storyline, the situation I liked the least was the Friday cliffhanger. I turned it off of I was like, I don't even give a shit what happens.
I was eating
sorry,
it.
it just did not land for me. Like sometimes things just don't land, and it didn't. It didn't land for me. No shade to any of the actors.
The actors were great.
The actors were fine. It was, just
I think
things don't align for me here, and it just did not. There's kooky, like there's that like kooky, campy, and it didn't land for me. Didn't land for me. Sometimes it lands, didn't land for me this week.
Well, here's I think what is a little interesting, but also like, wait, what about the storyline is how quickly things came about. Because for the longest time, we didn't know the identity of Lady Whistleblower, right? And then all of a sudden, we found out who it is. But the thing about it is, we don't know or understand truly why he's doing it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, Kerry doesn't have to have a real hatred for Leo. You guys had a thing. You didn't hook up. It should have been just like, wham, bam, right? I mean, and also like both Leo and Kerry are very good looking guys, but it's like, Kerry, I'm pretty sure you could have the next day found somebody else and been just fine, right? But it's like, so I think why exactly are you doing this and why are you going so hard for Leo is the thing that's kind of like it's interesting that they put him as Lady Whistleblower, but now I want to know why. And I hope it's not just because Leo made you mad that one time. Because I mean, if Leo made you mad, girl, go slash his tires and like key his car and then like have a good day. Like, don't go and take his old job and like do all these spoilers and do all this stuff, only because you're mad that you didn't get a little D.
Yeah.
The last time y'all were together. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, go ahead.
It wasn't even antagonistic. It was Leo sort of coming to an epiphany and saying, I always do this with the guys. I don't want to mess things up. I'm sorry. I don't want to have a one night stand. And then Kerry was like, I mean, he didn't like it, but he was kind of like, okay, whatever. And then it did. Yeah, I think that's also contributing to why I'm confused about Kerry a bit. It seems very pointed, as if, Leo cheated on Kerry or broke his heart or screwed him over in a deal or something. It seems I'm waiting to get the reasoning, and I'm hoping the reasoning makes sense for the level of hatred that is coming his way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's also like, okay, well, even if he rejected you, like, you're now with Javi. Like, it seems a lot of hatred for just a doomed one night stand that they didn't have.
Yeah. But also, if you look at how Kerry is in Javi's relationship, he's okay with taking it slow. I like that they're taking it slow, but I'm also like, girl, y'all, all this staying the night and y'all ain't doing nothing. And then y'all decide to do something after lunch.
Yep.
After lunch, you decide that is the best time for a little afternoon delight after lunch. Do you know how small that window is?
It's a very small window, yes.
After lunch?
I mean, unless you clean the kitchen first.
After lunch.
Yeah, that's not a first time event after lunch. That's a quick we've been together for a while. Let's do something and we can get back to work. That's not
right. Not for the first time.
No,
and let me tell you, them plates didn't look like they held back during lunch. Like, you didn't do like, okay, I know what's gonna happen after lunch.
Yeah.
And how dare Leo come busting up in there after to expose him? Girl. What is happening? What is happening? And then let's talk about, let me ask you this. If the three of us were having lunch and I just had to tell somebody this thing about my favorite show. And I said, it doesn't go beyond this table.
Yeah.
It doesn't go beyond this table. I'm going to tell you some tea, but it doesn't go beyond this table. Once I told you the tea, how likely are you going to go spill the tea?
Yeah.
Not taking pure for men. Chris
Yeah.
knows.
I
I feel like only certain people got that whole after lunch thing.
I know, right? Some people are like, I don't get it, but I'll just keep going up. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. But like,
Okay,
back to the what'd you say?
It gets messy.
It can.
It gets
After
messy.
lunch.
Unless you know,
Pure
let's
for
clean the kitchen first. But even then, like,
Yeah, it's a very small window.
Very small window after lunch. Okay, now
unless
back
you're not
to
doing, unless you're just, you know,
Unless you ate a salad.
unless you ate a salad and you're not doing anything, you know,
they implied
nothing's getting put in somewhere. You know what I mean? Unless you're just, you know,
they implied that they was about to make it do what it do, yeah.
they were
And
gonna
I
hook
just
up.
and I just kept saying after lunch. Oh, Annette.
I know. She's probably like, what were they talking about before this? Got it.
Okay, now back to the question at hand. If I told y'all some tea and I kept saying it doesn't go beyond this table, only the three of us know it doesn't go beyond this, and then I told you the tea, would you or would you not go spill the tea immediately after?
No.
Not publicly.
Yeah.
Like I may, like if I may tell another trusted source that I know won't rat me out.
Right.
But I would not go on the internet, on the blog that I'm posing as someone else writing, trying to be incognito. No, I would not do that.
Yeah, part of me thought it was maybe Kerry was gonna like fake Leo out, like he was gonna like take the bait and like throw him off a bit. And then when Leo started reading, I was like, oh no, they're writing him like really dumb. He's not dumb, but I think they're writing him is so anxious in his hatred that he completely ignored the signs of like I will say they did add that little line in the beginning about Lady Whistleblower hacking the email. But I was like, okay, you're trying to cover your bases, but still, it's a little, you know, you might as well walk around with the sign saying it's me.
Yeah.
Which between the I Love Rochester sweatshirt and him spilling the beans, it's like, you remember on Beetlejuice when they had the ding, 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 ding. It might as well just say Kerry.
Beetlejuice here. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is a way to wrap this storyline up quick.
Yeah, I feel like they're not dragging it out, which is good.
But I would have loved for Kerry just to have stuck around, to be honest. Like not this whole stain of like him being Lady Whistleblower and fumbling the bag and stuff, but just like
Lady Whistleblower body and soul bullshit out of it, and I probably could have gotten on board with it this week.
Yeah.
But I also hope he does. I mean, like he can still stick around and just not be. I mean, guessing the idea is what Javi finds out and dumps Kerry, and then Kerry like slinks off into an alley somewhere. Like, I mean, hopefully he still stays. If he's still Lady Whistleblower. I don't know. I think there's a way to keep him around and make it interesting, whether or not he's a thorn in Leo and Javi's side. But
the chat room seems to think that Kerry this isn't about Leo. It's more about, for Kerry, it's more about body and soul for some reason.
Oh, like
he's doing it. Like he's, yeah.
Can you imagine if they make him like one of those like
crazy,
really crazy dedicated fan?
See, I'd like that. I think that I actually might like better than he's upset over a failed one-night stand.
Because let me
we know those stories.
We do know those stories. I it's just, I feel like it's just funny because like he doesn't fit like you don't look at him and think, oh, you're a dedicated soap fan.
Yeah.
Debbie Bright said he's that devoted a BS fan.
I know, right? I know. Listen,
Like
Debbie, not personally, but this is how crazy fans can get.
I'm really interested.
We almost had a mutiny a couple months ago, right?
What?
At a certain fan event.
Oh gosh. Oh my God. Jesus. I'm like, I felt like for a second they wanted my heads on a platter. I was like, oh my goodness.
Tony, you know all too well how crazy fans can get, okay?
The January
yes.
6th Day of Days.
Oh,
We're storming the stage.
If you don't know, Tony was almost caught in the middle of a mutiny, apparently.
that was what?
Almost caught in the middle of a riot.
Oh gosh. Oh my God. Like
okay, that'll be our that'll be a happy hour discussion with our members. So if you want that tea,
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I guess that would be an interesting take. I just
not
hope
so
that
far-fetched now, right?
Huh?
I said not so far-fetched now.
Not so far-fetched. It would be an interesting twist for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it would be a very interesting twist. I guess maybe this is a good time to mention that Kerry, Derek Yates, will be joining us live next Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll get the tea from him. Yeah. So mark your calendars, everybody. Derek Yates is coming by. I did earlier this week. I did another podcast with him, and he's a really nice guy. He's very nice, very talented, very interesting story of just his journey through music and acting and things that he's done. So it was fun. It was fun getting to meet him.
Nice. I'm done. I got nothing else to say.
Oh.
I don't know about y'all, but I
not that moment of just like, it's almost like we took a moment for like
mull everything over.
But it's so interesting also, side note, like looking at him, I kept seeing like he looks like if Bradley Cooper and Eric Martsolf had a kid, it would be him.
I can see that.
It's so like I kept staring at him in a moment.
The Bradley, Cooper thing a lot,
Yeah,
and Eric
like,
too. I think, interesting.
There were moments where I was like, "Oh, he looks like Bradley Cooper," and then there are moments where I'm like, "Oh, he looks like Eric Martsolf." I'm like, "What is happening here?"
Don't give the writers ideas, Tony. Kerry stays around because he's Brady's newfound son.
John Del Rey say he looks like Brady. Period.
Yeah, I have seen people comment a lot about him. Yeah, how much him and Eric look alike. So
yeah. Can you imagine if they? Never mind.
Listen. Stranger things have happened. If Kerry sticks around, he'll need a plot line.
I mean,
hopefully a better one than this one.
Oh. Oh, we didn't even start. I noticed, Michael, you put Abe and Paulina, and we didn't mention, well, we can now, how originally Leo bursted into their apartment, stole Abe's bacon, and then came up with the new storyline of how to bring Charlemagne back, and that Paulina had offered to fly Rafe out to Rochester to find out who owned the bank account, but looks like she can save her coins because Detective Leo was on the case.
Mm-mm.
And I do have to say, I still have to give kudos to anyone from Days, production, anyone who's watching or listens to us. Where do y'all get the food from? I'd like to know, because I'm going over there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't know if I was just hungry, but when Leo picked up that bacon, I was like, "Ooh, that's a good piece of
the
bacon.
breakfast
It's like
looked good.
nice and golden." And
Mhm.
We've noticed the food game has been on point.
strong.
Yeah.
What I remember though, those burgers in the pub, like
Ugh.
those look good. And it
Like
was
some
like, good enough for Paulina to take hers to go on the plate.
and then it's also like, where are y'all getting Javi's pancakes from? Because they look good.
Oh, they do. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Mhm.
We know where they get
The breakfast scenes this week were good. Yeah.
We determined where the biscuits came from, the tainted biscuits. We determined those were Popeyes.
Oh, those were definitely Popeyes.
Yeah.
100%.
Once Camila was on the show and said that they were dry. Or was it Camila? Or no, it wasn't Camila.
Sorry?
It was
Was it Akiri? Akiri?
Yeah. She was like, I just remember they were dry. And we were like,
yeah.
oh, Popeyes.
We were like, oh, Popeyes. Y'all could have went to KFC. Oh no, actually no. Popeyes would have been better for like camera and stuff because they always come out that round.
They
Each
always
one
come out that round, and KFCs tend to be a little more crumbly.
Yeah, they're more like, yeah.
Those Bojangles biscuits, though, back on the Bojangles. Oh my gosh, so good. Yes, Jen.
Oh, the food we like to put in our mouth. That's it. Did you guys ever see that meme? There's a video of like this woman like giving like a testimony, and like there's the church musicians playing in the background that music under, and she's like nothing I did, nothing I smoked, nothing I drank, nothing I ate, nothing felt so good. She's talking about Jesus. And then she went, oh, the food I put in my mouth.
No. Not seen that one.
And then there's a woman in the like behind her just being like, when I find it, I'll send it to y'all. Anyway, we're a mess. All right. So all right, that's it for our small visit to Rochester. Also, just another reminder, Derek Yates will be joining us next Sunday live. So make sure you tune in, please. So that way, you can find out more about what's happening with Kerry. Yeomans. Now let's travel back down to Salem into the deep, dark tunnels of the DeMera Mansion. Arnold is back. How do we really feel about Arnold being back?
He is acting off enough when talking to Jada that Jada should know, like,
you ain't Rafe.
You ain't exactly that. He's not Rafe,
and you can see the wheels turning though, like. As he's talking, she's like something is off, and I feel like she can't put her finger on it because like it's Rafe, right?
Yeah,
but she's just like something.
Yeah.
If 2 + 2 = 4, and 5 + 5 = 10, this man standing in front of me looking like Rafe ain't Rafe, but I can't quite figure out. Why?
Yeah.
And the XOXO in the text.
Which came from EJ.
Yes.
But I love that. Well, first of all, we love the fact that they made Jada one of the best detectives and smartest detectives in Salem. But in this sense, I'm like, y'all don't lose that with Jada.
Yeah.
Because when she was like talking about the case and that Patch put him on the case, and then Sean goes, well, why don't you just ask Steve? And she goes, yeah, I'll ask Steve. I wanted to go. Jada would have did that 5 days ago.
I know, right?
Jada would have did that 5 days ago. Don't y'all make this woman feel like she don't know her man. She's out there in nice arresting boots, getting people and finding people. And if she don't know nothing else, she knows her man.
Mhm.
I did enjoy the confrontation with EJ, the way she came in there with that power coat. I
Yeah.
love the coat. I don't know what it was about that coat, but and just the look on her face and everything about that moment. I was like, oof, Elia is great right here. And just really nailing EJ. And then the way the turn, what I really like, the turn when when
Arnold came out.
When Arnold came out, and then with the hair and everything. Yes, Elia.
Yeah. That turn was very much like, okay, we're going down to the station, and then Arnold comes out, and it was very much like, the fuck?
Yeah.
That's what that turn was.
No, I give Elia credit for me enjoying that part of the storyline this week because it was great. It was great.
Agree. I just wonder, okay, I feel like as fans, a couple of things we're worried about. Arnold, part 1, we all know what he did to Sammy. And I think we are hoping, praying, wishing that this does not happen to Jada. I do like the fact that when Arnold seems to go in for a kiss, minus New Year's Eve, he was like, let's go get this money situated. I'm like, okay, great. But I'm like, there's also, if you're going to let him run amok, you're not going to be with him 24/7 to be like, oh, hey, hey, what are y'all, what y'all doing? Let me, Arnold, Rafe, can I, like, you're not going to be able to be around the whole time. So I'm just hoping they don't do the same thing.
Yeah, at the end there, I'm like, okay, is he gonna make him like do a celibate pack or something? Like,
yeah, that's where I think.
Yeah, I'm like, and it's gonna be like a wedding thing. Like, we can't have sex till we get married. Like, however he's gonna push it or sell it. I was like, is that where they're going with this?
Yeah, that's kind of what I think too. Which should be another red flag for Jada.
I know, right? Like,
keep it in your
and I'm sorry, like that was a big enough thing. Like, I know Jada wasn't in Salem then, but like Rafe never told her, like, hey, there was this dude in town one time,
right?
Paraded around as me. Like she has because I feel like if she did have knowledge of that situation and she saw or heard or just interacted with Arnold, she'd be like, oh, maybe this is that son of a bitch that was, took his place before.
Yeah.
But it fits whatever storyline they're trying that she doesn't. So
yeah, I'm still trying to see the point of this all. I don't know if it's just to give Rafe and Jada some conflict, maybe. I'm still like I'm waiting for something else to be revealed. Like Arnold just comes back now all of a sudden, and what's the bigger plot? Like,
I would really enjoy, because there's a formula with the storytelling on the show and has been for a while, where the intent of a person's actions is not apparent and it gets a little frustrating. I don't think there's anything wrong. And I understand, like, oh, it creates suspense and blah, blah, blah. I would really enjoy knowing why first, because then it takes a little bit of the frustration, the mystery out of it. Yes.
Yeah.
But we can enjoy seeing what they do, knowing what their motivation is, knowing why they're doing what they're doing, and just seeing it play out. They don't always need to keep everything. They don't always need to keep the motivation a secret.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if I were Jada, I would have, as soon as I saw Rafe coming out of the tunnels, I would have said, be right back, and went down to the tunnels myself. I just always feel like, I feel like if someone goes missing, if something happens, anything, the first thing anyone should ever do is go check the Demare tunnels.
Right.
Is like everybody know about it now. That should be step one.
Right, I know.
And there should just be like a laminated warrant to search the marathon. Just saying. All right. Well, I mean, I feel like this story is going to kind of progress pretty quickly too, because their wedding is in like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna have the wedding.
Yeah. Well,
Always
we know how Salem weddings are. It's like we sit there and it's like we all know they ain't finna get married.
You know what's gonna happen. We're gonna be watching that storyline will kind of fade into the background for a moment, and then the next day it's on. It's gonna be the wedding day. And that day is going to be the wedding. There will be no prep scene. There will be no build up to it. It'll just be boom.
Right.
They are breezing by it.
It frustrates me. Like I'm like, there's nothing again, like and I know I'm probably sound like an old person, but like back in the day, you saw like, I don't remember the last wedding we had, like where we saw like, the bachelorette party and then like an episode of like the bride getting ready and then the wedding happens.
Yeah.
Like I kind of miss that. And maybe it's filler, maybe it's pointless, but it serves a purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Javi for helping Jada with the wedding planning.
And not doing his actual job.
I know, right?
Doing everything but being Gabby's assistant.
Shout out to Gabby for not, I guess, being kind of cool with it. But
like, Javi, didn't you just get into town 2 weeks ago?
It's like
trying to
have a day off.
Who gave you a job?
And I love how it was like, oh, there's so many caterers here in Salem. For what? Why? There should be about a good 3. A good 3. That's it. You don't need no more. Oh, speaking of Gabby and JJ.
Yes.
Love them. Love them. Yeah. Like them. Want more of them.
Yep.
Okay. Now, this is what happens when there's an actress shift, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like as far as the characters of Gabby and Stefan, we were very on board with Gabby and Stefan.
Mm-hmm.
That was when Camila was playing Gabby, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Sherry, like I felt like the chemistry was there. It's a little different, but her and JJ, I'm like, I feel like I do like this more than Gabby and Stefan.
Yeah.
Way back, even when Camila was playing Gabby, I loved Gabby and JJ. I just and they had a relationship, but then she's the one that saved him from killing himself.
Yeah. That's a special kind of bond.
The bond was just lost, and JJ went his ways and Gabby went her ways, and then the Stefan thing happened. I liked Gabby and Stefan. I liked Gabby and JJ when it was Camila and Casey. I liked Stefan and Gabby when it was Camila and Brandon. And I liked Stefan and Gabby. I liked Sherry and Brandon as Gabby and Stefan too. And I like Sherry and Casey together. But yeah, like the chemistry's right for sure. But yeah, and I'm just glad that these two characters are finally getting back together.
Yeah, same. Same. It was a cute moment of like her bringing, Javi's findings for Jada, and then also bringing him his wallet and then his cash and being like, well, what if I left it because I wanted to come back? Oh, what makes you think you weren't coming back? Oh, I'm gonna come back. Yeah, you come back. I'm gonna see you. Yeah, you gonna see me later. I was like, oh.
That house needs to be aired out. If you know what I mean.
If all those afternoon delights are happening.
Yeah, it probably smells a little musty in there.
Open
the windows for a couple hours.
They probably do.
I hope so. Good for them.
Pancakes for everybody.
Good for that. Good for that house. Wait, Jada. Well, wait, Rafe and Jada aren't doing it right now but they were there too.
No, that's the one.
We need a scene with everyone at the breakfast table in the significant others. So
Post
Rafe, Jada, Javi, with Kerry, and then JJ and
Gabby.
Yeah. All 6 of them need to, and then we need Leo popping up, of course, unexpectedly, and
right. Can you imagine that? Like let's
making sure they didn't sleep together.
Like, let's say not the penis factory. Let's say it starts off with like Javi, like being in the kitchen and finishing up his pancakes, and then Gabby comes down, and then they start talking, and then Rafe comes down. No, wait, no. Then JJ comes down and is like, oh, but then Kerry comes, and then Rafe comes down, then Kerry comes down, then Jada comes down. Yeah. It's like everybody needs some sustenance today.
Somebody open the windows.
You in these windows
just gets stinky.
Especially after lunch. Well, those are our top storylines, and we are now going to go into our tidbits. But before we do, just a gentle reminder, everyone, please make sure you follow us on social media. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, X, and Threads. Also, please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. But if you haven't, please go to our channel, click the subscribe button, and hit the bell notification. That way you'll never miss when a new video pops up. Speaking of new videos, if you are part of our exclusive members only page, I posted today a soapy reading by Al Calderon. That's right. Al Calderon is giving you a soapy read of how to screw in a light bulb in a sassy way. So make sure you go and check that out. And if you want to be the first to check that out, make sure you hit the join button. It's $4.99 a month. And trust me, it is 100% worth it. Later on, actually next week.
Yeah.
We have a virtual event with our members. It's called After the Dish. Immediately after this show, we meet up with our members in a Zoom, and we talk even more about days. And trust me, those are some very in-depth conversations. Once you join, please make sure you watch our welcome video, so that way you're added to the email list. So join, watch the welcome video, be added to the email. All right, I've talked enough about that. You can find us on your favorite podcast stations, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, go show some love to James Lott Jr. over at JLJ Media. Listen, he's doing what we're doing, and it's never an easy task. If you want a full recap of the other soaps, Young and the Restless, General Hospital, Bold and the Beautiful, as well as some original content, go give JLJ on YouTube and where podcasts can be found a little shout and let them know that the fine folks at Dishin Days sent you. Landon Fuller is saying, is there a link? Just go to our YouTube channel, and there's a join button if you're wanting to join the members only page.
If he means a link for, oh no, because he's not a member, so he wouldn't be. Okay, never mind.
No.
Never mind.
Now for tidbits.
Yes.
Let's talk about awkward much. Little run-in with Chad and Kat.
It was cute.
It was, yeah. That was kind of my. I still like them together.
Yeah.
And they were kind of, they got the feels for each other.
Yeah.
That was the vibe that they gave.
I think it only felt awkward because it was like, I think they didn't think they would see each other again.
Mm-hmm.
And because they did, I think whatever feelings that they thought were, it's like, okay, well, let me just get over it. They're still there. Kat is, vying to be an assistant with Marlena. So she's going to be sticking around. Mm-hmm. They have a family home apparently in Salem. So that's where Felicity lives. So she doesn't want to move. Aaron is very smart and graduated early. So he's in Vancouver. I didn't quite hear where Mark was. Is he back in jail?
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So
it's like, come on. Like, why?
He'll be out in like a month, hopefully.
yeah.
He should be.
So yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
there wasn't much there. I mean,
There wasn't just a conversation and
trying to like skirt his feelings a bit.
I'm rooting for them.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for them. I think it's a good match.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Next up, where's John?
Steve knows something, right?
I think he does too.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, I felt like that was the hint they were giving us a bit.
Yeah. I think he doesn't want Marlena to worry, so that's why he's like, I have no idea, like I haven't been on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so Marlena obviously believes him. I'm glad that Marlena was able to tell Steve, the good news that it was all a plot.
Yeah.
As far as like, he didn't kill Katarina, but it was a plot to have them to escape, which I really like that.
Yeah.
I like what they did with that storyline.
Yeah.
But now it's this, and it's hard because we know, obviously, real life, what could have been going on during that time. But Steve definitely knows something. That's why he called Shane and was like, call me. Because it's like, I think Shane is probably avoiding Marlena because he knows, like, obviously what's happening with John. Yeah. But I think Steve also knows, but Steve doesn't want to be the person to make Marlena worry. Mm-hmm. So he's like, my name is Ben and I ain't in it.
Or the issue is that neither knows. Maybe John is.
Maybe
they don't know anything and don't want to say anything until they know what's going on.
Yeah.
So either something's happened and they know it and they just they don't feel they can reveal it yet, or they don't know. They don't know where he is. Maybe he disappeared and they don't know. But it's hard to like think like no more John. Yeah. Like it just kind of hit during the scenes this week. It just kind of hit me. I was like, wow, like they do these breaks with characters and then they bring them back, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, oh, and I was like, Michael, you knew this 5 months ago, but it hits when
it's playing out too on screen now too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. And now
Shane is sick of Marlena calling.
like, girl, you don't stop calling me.
No, leave me alone. It's ISA for a reason. Stop calling.
What's the wife's name? Kimberly. He's like, Kimberly, you answer it. You get it. You talk to her.
I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I know when what's the name? Was it Steve who mentioned Kim? Like, oh, you should call Kimberly to get information. I was like, oh God, just what Shane wants you bothering his wife. I was like, girl. She's like, you can get Kimberly to bug Shane and get answers. I was like, oh yeah, that'll work. Like, I'm sure that'll go over lovely.
I'm sure just like all the other wives, Kimberly too wants to stay out of whatever it is. She's like, I am over here living my life. You just check in with me and let me know that you're okay.
He's like, listen, I got a great grandchild on the way. I'm not thinking about
got a daughter in jail.
Right, yeah, that too.
It's like, this is a lot. Oh goodness.
I know. That's what made me laugh so bad. It was just like, they're just like, call Kimberly. She'll get you the info you need. I was like, really? Like, I don't think so.
All right. Well, now let's move on to the teen scene getting interesting. In a nutshell, looks like Holly's getting close to Doug. Tate and Sophia are getting close because of the baby. And Kayla's looking at Tate like,
okay, I'm getting worried now. They're like, it's getting to be an anvil now with you used a condom. We used a condom. A condom was used. How are you pregnant? We used a condom. I'm like, okay, are we like, can you not hit us over the head with this? So I'm like, I prayed it wasn't going to be that, but I feel like the writing is on the wall that is going to be the case, that, you know, Tate may not be the father here, but.
So I went live the other day. Oh, Tuesday I went live on our Dishin Days Instagram, and was just chit-chatting with fans and stuff. And Lewis, who plays Aaron, he came in, so gave him a shout out. And he was like, what does everyone think about Aaron? And fans had so many great things to say about Aaron. And then, of course, a couple of fans were like, that's your baby. That is your baby. That is your baby. There was no confirmation about that, but I think a lot of fans are speculating that while she is indeed pregnant,
there's a baby.
It's not Tate's.
And Aaron is now mysteriously gone for a few months now.
Yeah.
We'll find out. I mean, we'll find out when the baby comes out with like a bushy curly hair, you know.
Well, this is something they never acknowledge, that like children look like people. It's always like, oh, we're gonna pass so and so off as someone else, and it's like no one ever thinks like, well, what happens if the baby comes out and, you know, looks exactly like, you know,
someone else?
Candidate number one for who's the daddy. It's like no one is looking. Oh wait, didn't they? No, something recently.
You mean like with Sloan and
it was that was the first
Eric
time they ever did that.
Marlena kept looking at the baby like, oh, he looks like you when you were a baby.
That was the first time I ever seen that acknowledged, where someone's like, oh, he looks like so and so. Like they never acknowledge that, like, you know, or this baby doesn't look like you. Interesting. Or
no.
Yeah. But no, I will say. Okay.
You go ahead, because I think maybe we were about to say the same thing.
Oh, I was going to go into Holly and Doug. But...
Oh,
I was going to say, I like Doug with Holly. I think she brings out his character a lot. Also, like the different person. I like how, say, carefree she is with him, but
Holly, shut up.
Like, yeah, I know.
Holly, shut up.
She's running too much.
Did you see what them Menses did to Doug? Oh. And you gonna show up like, yeah, and don't. and the second he was like, so is this your girlfriend? I was like, oh, she about to get kidnapped. Yeah, like that's what, like I was like, oh, don't walk alone. Oh, side note. So remember the last time there were two guys that two. I knew one of those guys looked familiar. And that's because he's a security guard in West Hollywood. And I synced him on Friday. And I looked at him and I said, are you an actor? He was like, yeah. And I was like, were you on Days of Our Lives? He was like, yeah. Did you see that? I'm like, yeah. Knew it was you. That was funny. Well, too bad they didn't bring him back for this. Don't they work in pairs?
I know. It was interesting. Yeah.
How dare they didn't give him a day rate so he could come back and just stand there and be like background. What a mess. But along the lines of what you were saying, Justin, I like Holly and Doug together, and I actually like Tate and Sophia together.
Yeah. Yep. That's why I'm kind of annoyed what they were pressing it this weekend about the condoms. I was like, oh God, don't ruin. Like, I'm actually liking this, how it's working out, and it's a believable sort of believable interruption to the Holly Tate relationship. Yeah.
And I still think it's the mom, Sophia's mom, orchestrating all of this.
Oh, do you think maybe she knows it may not be Tate's, but she
Mhm.
wants because of the money, or
And that's why she was pushing so hard. She's pushing so hard. She
the
wants,
marriage? Huh. Oh, that
yeah,
might be.
she was
Interesting.
pushing so hard immediately for them to get married. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, she knows. I think she knows Sophia's pregnant. I think she knows it ain't Tate's, but she saw an opportunity to pass it off as Tate's because his dad is
Brady Black.
Brady
Yeah.
Black. Money. Sophia has mentioned how the family struggles financially.
Yeah.
So
She damn sure knows Aaron's family's a mess now. So she's like, we ain't getting no money from them. So.
Exactly.
Mother's in jail, sister returned from the dead.
And I just don't think Sophia, at least the way
Brothers in jail.
At least what we've seen of Sophia, I just don't think she has it in her to do that.
Yeah.
So I think it's the mom.
But it also now casts her like she's back to being the villain now again, where I'm like, okay, like I felt like we got her out of that and made her a little bit more of slightly morally gray when she wants to be, but now she's a villain. Even if she doesn't know who the father is, she obviously knows it, and she may have slept with someone. If that's the way they're going with this plot, we don't know. But I don't know. I was kind of liking her. I was liking the circumstance being the obstacle, as opposed to her being like, the mustache twirling villain. Like, I'm gonna plot to break them up, and it's like, okay, like we're back to that again. If that's where they go with this plot, we don't know, but it's kind of looking that way.
Well, I guess we'll see. Oh, okay, Mark M, you better head to the boiling crab. Enjoy. Someone in our chat, he was like, I gotta go. I'm heading to the boiling crab. My dinner break after 62 hours. You enjoy all them crab legs, honey. Snap, crackle, pop.
Enjoy.
You enjoy. All right. Let's get to the next tidbit. What is it? Megan said, I'm glad Doug wants to get the necklace back. Me too. And isn't the worst douchebag. It's also cute how he calls Leo Mr. Stark. Oh, yes. I love that.
Again, I'm like, Mr. Stark's a little busy.
Yeah, he is. But he got money. You know what? Why didn't he? Also, that's the other thing. Holly giving that man that much money and y'all just met. That's a lot. But also it's like, why didn't you just ask Leo to like make up the difference? He got money.
Well, I still think it's Leo's money to begin with. I still think he has the necklace. I think he was trying to do a good deed and gave Doug what he could, which is why the envelope was short to begin with.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next tidbit. Rachel is on the run, honey.
She's like, you know what I'm not going to do? Therapy. What I am going to do, get the hell out of here.
Rachel said, listen, y'all all crazy. And how dare you suggest that I get therapy? You know what? I'm going to show you therapy. I'm going to pack some clothes. I'm going to pack my favorite snake and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yes.
Hareld, I wanted her to be like, thanks, Hareld. Acknowledge that. She didn't make that sandwich herself. That sandwich looked too well put together for a child to have done it. Now, I know
was cute.
Not a toddler or anything, but yeah.
Annette said, Rachel's probably at the horn. Y'all,
yeah, that was cute.
First of all, the way they have developed Rachel and how Finley plays her is absolutely amazing, which makes me hate that they took away the younger actress. They shifted those ages for that, because she needs to be nominated for an Emmy for this.
Yeah.
It's like she's so smart. The girl knows how to pick a lock. She picked the lock to get the phone. And then she's like, poor Kristen is trying to talk to her like a kid and like, therapy. What's therapy? Oh, you mean like a shrink?
Yeah.
Like, who is this kid? And then she was like, okay, yeah, fine, I'll do it. And then the second Kristen was gone, she said, baby, I am out of here.
Yeah.
I am gone.
Mm-hmm.
Me, my snake, and my peanut butter and jelly sandwich are out of here.
It was cute. First, I was like, is she going to school? And I was like, oh, no, I don't think she's going. She's running away. Like, it took me a second to think. Yeah.
Rachel is gone, honey. Rachel said, goodbye. Y'all crazy. I'm out of here. But when Kristen, first of all, I wish Kristen would realize that Ava was coming from a place of from one mother to another.
I know. Yeah.
Like, and she kept saying, this is none of your business. This is your. I'm like, oh, I hate that they write Kristen like that.
Yeah.
She's so much better than that now.
When your child's missing, you don't care where the help comes from. Like, your sworn enemy could come in with a great idea. It's like, you're not going to stop and give them a rant. It's like,
Kristen would.
Yeah.
Like as Tony said, the way they've written Kristen, it's very how they've been writing her, just very reactive and very, unfairly reactive. Yeah. It's getting a little old.
It's getting old.
You can make Kristen have, moments of tone down.
Yeah.
But also, I had this thought, and this is a random thought. When Brady and Ava were having their date, I thought to myself, Brady, your grown ass is at your mama's house having a date, about to make whoopee. Get your ass out your mama's house.
Well, and remember last week when what's her face came over and she was like, "Nice house." He made no mention that it's not his.
Yeah,
he just took full credit for it. He's like, yeah.
Like, can you imagine though?
Like, yeah, isn't it? Right?
Okay. Imagine the scene went like this. I'm Brady. Michael Mattis, you are Mrs. Choi. Give me the line of what she said about the house.
Nice house.
Thanks. It's my mama's.
Brady has had his own when it was Kyle Lowder's Brady, because he had the John's old shack or whatever he lived in.
The loft,
The loft, exactly.
The shack.
Shack. It had the door that was like
a lot. In the industrial warehouse.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
but they moved up to the Culver City apartments now. So,
oh my god,
the 8-bedroom Culver City apartments.
Just a little sidebar. There was, the establishing shots that are very. One was Chicago. One this week. I was like, that is the Sears Tower, or whatever it's called now. I was like, that's Chicago.
I noticed. Yes, the new ones they debuted this week. I was like, oh, they're getting new shot, and then it was one shot. Was it the hospital? They showed something that looked so ridiculous. It was like a sprawling building, and then I remember I saw the opening shot, and I was like, oh, is this a new set? Like, what are they going to show us? And then it was the hospital or something. I was like, what? Like, it made no sense. I thought of you, Michael, when they started the new shots we got this week. I was like, oh god, they're now changing them again.
If going by the establishing shots, like they're not consistent. They're just not. You're not showing a consistent city. You're showing like a sprawling metropolis, but Salem's supposed to be a small town. Then you're showing this shot from above where it looks like Los Angeles almost, with its mini cities within a city. And then you're showing the simple police station that looks like it's in the middle of nowhere. I appreciate an establishing shot. I do.
Yeah.
But please make it make sense. And maybe not use a high profile city like Chicago. And people are going to recognize that Chicago.
Oh, it made me laugh this week.
That's just that's my unsolicited critiques of the No one asked for my opinion, but there it is.
And on that note, those were your tidbits, and that was the week of Peacock's Days of Our Lives. And now it's time to move on to our wonderful part of our show, which are our segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. All right. So my 3 Snaps Award goes to the one and only Greg Rickard, Leo Stark. Let me tell you, from stealing the bacon at Abe's to making Paulina pay for Rafe to go to Rochester to find out whose account that was, to cracking the case of Kerry being Lady Whistleblower and coming up with it was just work, Leo.
He was very Jessica Fletcher this week.
Very Jessica Fletcher. And for those reasons, Greg Rickard, Leo Stark, for being the Jessica Fletcher we all love to write about, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap! All right. And now it's time for Caption That.
All right, continuing with Mr. Stark. This week's photo comes courtesy of Marlena and Leo in the square on the laptop. And this week's caption goes to... You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put it in the little thing. So I'm just doing that right now. Bink, bink, bink. Stan Harder at Heart to Act on Instagram with his caption of Marlena saying, "Doesn't Grindr have an E in it, Leo?" Now, and I know Grindr's a phone app, not a laptop app, but I still made me giggle, and so I chose it.
Well, as you should.
My segment.
And that was Caption That. And now it's time for
Those were the days.
All right, everyone, take you back to January 14th, 1998, when Beau decided to officially leave Billy and reunite with Hope sort of once and for all, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, this is when, as you can see, Krista Allen was playing Billy at the time. And this was right before she sort of left the canvas for the second time around. And Beau and Hope sort of reunited for good this time. Yeah, January 14th, 1998. And also, I take a little bit of a deep dive into one of my favorite couples, Beau and Billy in the extended, in Those Are the Days extended. And you can check that out on our members page in the next couple of days.
Oh, well, right after the show, it'll be posted.
Oh, right after the show.
Yeah. And that was
Those were the days.
And if you guys realize, we don't have It's a Gift because Araceli isn't here. But what we do have is a little bit of news and gossip. Okay, wait, before you get into all the news and gossip, Justin,
Yes.
while it's on my mind, because it was brought up earlier.
Sorry.
Are you guys, you guys have heard CBS is doing Beyond the Gates, and it's coming out in February. Someone earlier was like, will Chanel be making an appearance? Because she's a Dupree.
Oh, the name of the
family. The main family name is are the Duprees. It's centered around the Duprees. Just really quick, any interest in checking it out? I'm going to, only because I feel like it's the beginning of a soap, and a predominantly Black soap, and it's making history. So I want to I plan to watch it.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna check it. I also don't. For me, I don't have a history of CBS soap operas, so this will be my first. I've been I did General Hospital years ago. But yeah, be interested. I'm definitely interested. I'm gonna watch.
Yeah.
At least initially. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we haven't talked about it, so I was like, "Ooh, I should ask them like how they feel
Yeah.
about it," because I'm excited.
Yeah. I
Um,
think it'd be
all
interesting.
right. Now, Justin Lee Hareld, take it away with our news and gossip.
Starting off, we have some congratulations are in order to Ron Calavardi, Ryan Kwan, and the rest of the writing team. They have been nominated for a Writers Guild Award for Best Drama. So big congratulations to them. The ceremony will simultaneously take place in New York and Los Angeles on February 15th of this year. So yeah, big congrats to Days on this nomination, and fingers crossed they take it home. Next up, we have friend of the show, Chriselle Stiles. She recently, this past week, actually appeared on the Sherry Talk Show. She discussed everything from the LA fires in her own sort of evacuation and in her history with fire and houses burning down. It's an interesting one. Check it out. She also talked about how the Oppenheim group is helping out with placement, which is really, really great. They've been helping, people who are displaced from the fires. They've also been doing a lot of watchdog hunting for people who are been price gouging and sort of getting the authorities involved in reporting those people, which has been really great. And then she also talked about her stint on Traders and Neighbors, of course. And then she and Sherry took a minute and did a fun little segment on soap opera slaps. And sort of Chriselle gives her a tutorial on how to give a really good sort of soap opera slap. So yeah, you can check that out on YouTube. And yeah, just a really, really cute, fun interview with Chriselle.
Yeah. She was also on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live this week as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we have some sad news. Unfortunately, we want to just send out condolences and prayers. Francisco San Martin, who you may remember played Dario Hernandez back in 2011. He unfortunately has passed away at the age of 39. Mentioned he played Dario back in 2011. He also, some of you may remember him as Mateo on The Bold and the Beautiful. But yes, he unfortunately passed away this week. Just condolences to his friends and family. It's very sort of awful circumstances, but yeah, we just want to send out condolences to everyone who knew him, remembered him, just sort of enjoyed his work over the years. So really, really sad.
And he was a friend to the show. We interviewed him back in 2016, that interview can be found on our YouTube channel. But he was always a very cool guy, and he's remembered as a very loving, friendly guy. So there's been an outpouring of love towards him in this very unexpected loss. So our condolences to his friends and family, and we're sending out love and healing as they all begin to process this.
Yeah. Onto a little happier news, JP Lavoisier sat down at the Day Studio to give us a little segment called Business Tip Tuesday, where he offers some questionable but interesting advice inspired by Philip Kourakis. So definitely go check that out on the Day's Instagram page. Of course, JP is very, as we see, he brings a lot of animation and a lot of quirkiness to Philip, and that is very innate. So definitely go check that out. You will definitely get your dose of that from him. So yeah. Then we have our reminders. The day players have, I think, started next week. I think they start picking back up for the new year. We've been telling you about their dates. Just the dates this year, they're going to Charlotte, Atlanta, Nashville, Birmingham, Oklahoma City, Addison, Texas, Albany, and Pottstown, Pennsylvania. And they have shows booked from now through the end of May. So definitely go and check that out. You can tickets and info. You can go to thedayplayersband.com. Then next up, we've been telling you about our Q&A Zoom, or not, but the Q&A Zoom with Eric Malthoff and Greg Rickard for Star Image Entertainment on January 26th. All tickets and info, you can go to eventbrite.com/Star Image Entertainment. Then we have our Starstruck fan event. This is the Cinco de Derby event that is happening April 5th through 6th of this year at the Meadowlands Racetrack in New Jersey. And all tickets and info, go to starstruckfanevents.com. Then we have, of course, our the Winter Wonderland event with Samantha and friends. This one taking place. This is a charity event, fundraiser gala event taking place May 3rd through 4th of this year. All tickets and info, go to samanthasfriends.org. And last but not least, our event that we've been hinting at and sort of told you about last week, Dishin Days is celebrating its 10th anniversary, the Saturday, February 8th. If you are an LA resident, come down and definitely help us celebrate it. It's taking place in Rocco's in West Hollywood, 5 to 9. And yeah, we're just gonna celebrate 10 years of Dishin Days. And I think we've collected a lot of emails and interest, but I think we are is that right, Tony? We still collecting. If people are in the area would like to come, we can collect your email address and send you out an invite.
Yeah, if you're in the LA area, you can either enter your info through the link on Instagram, or if you want to just send us a DM with your name and email, we'll send you an invite. But please only send your name and email if you are for sure coming Saturday, February 8th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. No, we can't fly you out. But if you would like to attend, it's open. So come and have fun with us. Yeah. And also, of course, one more reminder that, as if I haven't said it enough, but where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, I guess. Oh, here it comes. But next week, live on Dishin Days, we will be chatting with Lady Whistleblower himself, Mr. Derek Gates. Will be stopping by the show. So you guys spread the word. I feel like this is the first time we've been able to say, like, on the show, next week, so-and-so is coming. We usually do it during the week. But make sure you guys tune in. Let's see what whistles he's going to be blowing on Dishin Days. In my head, that sounded one way, and it came out another.
I know.
Anyways, well, that has been
news and gossip.
And now it's time to find out what's coming up this week on Peacock's Days of Our Lives.
I do really like spending time with you.
I'm seeing Alex now. I wasn't really ready to end things between us. I miss you. My granddaughter is missing. Where is she?
A little girl was hit by a car. Her description matches Rachel's.
I'm never gonna see my daughter again.
I'm not so sure that my wife's fall was an accident.
Days of Our Lives.
Stephanie just bounced off one and wants to bounce back on the other one. Girl, just
Let Stephanie be digmatized if she wants to be.
I guess. Dang.
Oh my goodness. But I mean,
I think you're frozen, Tony.
Yeah. You made it to the end of the show, though.
I know, yeah.
All right. Well,
Hasn't happened in a while.
I guess we'll take it until.
Am I back?
Kind of.
Are you?
Yep. Hold on.
Your voice is in and out.
And your oh.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. As a reminder, you can follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, at Dishin Days on Instagram and X, and Dishin Days on Threads and X. Blah. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at ML Mattis. Tony's back.
Okay, here we go.
You want to finish? Do
No. Oh, no. This is a wonderful moment. But Michael Mattis, please continue.
All right. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at ML Mattis. Justin, where can they find you?
Find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
And if you want to follow Araceli, you can follow her on Instagram and Twitter at Tia323 Araceli. And Tony, where can they find you?
Well, they can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony.
All right. And I already did the social reminder, but I'll remind you again, follow us on all social media platforms. Those are our handles. Go follow us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our members only exclusive page. Take it away, Tony.
Thank you guys. So thank you, Michael Mattis. You did great.
It's reading, yeah.
Michael Mattis hates being like the lead host. He's like, nope.
I hate
nope.
hosting
Choose.
in all ways.
Just what our viewers want to hear.
not that he hates hosting in all ways. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Dishin Days. We will be back next Sunday for another full dish of this coming week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Until then, everyone have a safe and wonderful week. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll be back next week. Bye, everybody. Happy Sunday.